Welcome back to the Victor Gonzalez Show, and today we're going to be taking a look at the New York Jets defense. With Robert Salah becoming the new head coach of the New York Jets, you're looking at a team that obviously is going through some turmoil with a new coach, but also with the new defensive identity. Bringing in that San Francisco identity that they had in the past, he's now bringing it to New York. He has guys who can really implement it with this defense. It's very talented. You have Carl Lawson. You have a first-round pick in Jermaine Johnson, who fell down the board to somewhere no one really saw him falling before the draft. You have Quinnen Williams, one of the best interior defensive tackles in the NFL, although he is underrated. You have John Franklin-Meyers, who also played well. You have Sheldon Rankins, an up-and-come or a veteran defensive tackle. You have Solomon Thomas, someone who worked with Robert Salah in San Francisco. And then at his linebackers, you're going to have guys like C.J. Mosley. You're going to have Quincy Williams, those guys who can kind of be the main guys for his defense and help out the linebacking core. Although the D-line is much better, just like it is in San Francisco, having a guy like C.J. Mosley try and get as close to what Fred Warner does as your main veteran linebacker, although he can't do it to the same level, he can still try to be a similar staple of the defense, just like Fred Warner is for theirs. And Quincy can kind of be a Dre Greenlaw or someone like that in the 49er scheme. Then you have guys like Sauce Gardner, who was the top-rated corner in my opinion, although he did go 4th overall to the Jets behind Derek Stingley, who was the first cornerback selected. You had DJ Reed, who's a very underrated corner from Seattle. Michael Carter II, who played very well last year for the Jets. You have Bryce Hall, who's played and had his moments. And then at safety, you have LaMarcus Joyner, who really helped the Raiders in the past and helped the Rams, and now can try and help out the New York Jets with how well he's been as a veteran leader. You have Jordan Whitehead, who we've seen in Tampa Bay. He's played well. He's small, but he's fast, and having speedy safeties can kind of replace kind of like the Tarts are in San Francisco, and that way you have two safeties who can move around and kind of be implemented and be switchable like the Bills' safeties are with Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde, where they're replaceable and you can put one guy into one spot and the other, and there's no trade-off. Just like what I'm guessing the Jets are trying to get from their two safeties. And you have Ashton Davis, a hard-hitting safety who can kind of be your in-the-box safety, who can help out when you want to go three safeties or be a opposite side safety, and you can let LaMarcus Joyner or Jordan Whitehead get some rest on the bench. And then the one thing the New York Jets did very well is they got a new kicker in Greg Zuerlein. Now, if Greg Zuerlein can get back to where he was in Los Angeles, where he was a very good kicker, unlike where he was in Dallas, where he had his moments where some days he'd be good, some days he'd be bad, and those bad days as a kicker have the spotlight on them more than the good days. And then they have their punter Brandon Mann, who's been a very decent punter in the NFL, done very well at his job. So with all these pieces, the New York Jets, including this new San Francisco scheme that they're building, are going to have a lot of pass rush, which is what made San Francisco really good. A very quality linebacker, and that's something San Francisco had, but at a higher level. And then a cornerback room that isn't the best, but when you have a D-line like that, they don't have to cover for long, which allows them to get turnover opportunities, which is exactly what this defense is going to try to do, especially when you have a guy like Sauce Gardner, who's very good at Cincinnati in college, and you have a lot of young corners who are very fast and are still in their athletic prime.